Guys, welcome back again to Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another video. Welcome back again to the channel. There's your home for tech, toys, and talk. And we might as well call this the Repair Bay Edition, guys, because we got some prop fixing to do. Now, you guys may not know what this is. There you go. Get a better view. This is commonly known as the Belt Gizmo. Anyone who does Ghostbusters cosplay, like yours truly, this is a device that we basically wear on our belt. It's never been explained specifically what this does, but mine has, well, it's taken a few hits. Now, this was a 3D printed belt gizmo that was made and constructed by Blind Wolf Cosplay. Does amazing cosplay props based out of the UK. I highly recommend checking him out. You can check him out on both, I believe, Instagram. I know he definitely has a Facebook page, Blind Wolf Cosplay, so check him out. I'm going to have a link to his sites in the video description below. But as you can see, well, it's taken a lot of damage. We got the LEDs are just hanging out over here. Technically, there's a little sidebar right here, and the other matching bar is right here. So we're going to have to try and get that to stick back on. But hot glue is only a temporary fix. So we got some JB Weld, which is the 2-part 5-minute quick drying epoxy. I've used this on a lot of stuff, and this works miracles. However, I do recommend using gloves. If you have gloves, you definitely want to use them. And I recommend pouring epoxy into like a small disposable cup. And also, for multiple applications or just for stirring, get yourself a bunch of small wooden sticks, aka popsicle sticks. You can get these at Joann's and Michael's, or you get your own popsicle sticks, you know, from your Freezy Pops, your Fudgicles, whatever you got in your house. Save them afterwards. Those might be a little bit bigger, but this is what we're going to use. I happen to have these just laying around, so I'm going to be using these. And we got ourselves mini glue sticks and a mini glue gun. In fact, I bought myself a brand new one. The old one was kind of sparking. The cord, it was kind of old, so I got myself this one. Pretty inexpensive. I'm actually going to have links to all these in the video description below. And by the way, I got these all through Amazon. Quick and easy 2-day delivery. Bada bing, bada boom. We're good as golden. Now, I do need to order the black glue sticks. You might be saying, Dave, why would you order black glue sticks? Glue sticks come in a whole variety of colors, guys. But I use them for doing fake welds on my Ghostbuster props and anything else. Now, my game of attack is going to be this. We're going to be doing a few little drops of hot glue either into the tubes itself or right on top of the LED bulb. So when we push it in, we're going to hold it in. And after a couple of minutes, it's going to be dry, and they're going to be solidified back into their reservoirs right here, okay? Then, the other game of attack is I'm going to apply 2-part epoxy here and on the back right here. Now, that's the only actual damage to this, because we have the switch right here, and if you notice, I did the wires were a little loose. I didn't want them catching or being pulled out, so what I did was I actually covered them with hot glue to kind of hold them in place and protect them against coming out of their actual switch connection right here. But just to show you guys, yes, everything still works. It's just I need to tidy everything up, especially for June. And if you don't notice, you notice I'm wearing my Buffalo Ghostbusters shirt because every year at the firehouse, Buffalo Ghostbusters have been organizing fundraising events to coincide with celebrating Ghostbusters Day. And if you want more information about they have celebrities coming down, live music. It's just going to be an insane event this year. And if you want to find out more, you want to check out the links in the video description below for the Buffalo Ghostbusters for their Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook page to get that and a lot more. And hey, you want one of these shirts? You can order it directly through TeePublic, and the links are in the video description below. So let's get going, guys. Now, guys, personally, a couple things you want to do. Okay, one if you're working with any kind of adhesives, anything that's going to have a vapor, which, trust me, almost every single glue out there is going to have some kind of a vapor to it. So you want ventilation. Now, you don't have to have a full-blown, you know, AC or any kind of a shop fan going on. You know, crack a window open. I also happen to have a fan going on because it's about 65 degrees today. It's a bit warm in the apartment today. So you definitely want to have a flow of air. You know, how about a fan and then having your window open to create a form of circulation? That's going to be key. First and foremost, that's definitely going to be key. Second, if you guys notice, I put a little bit of cardboard down. Cardboard is key. Now, I'm all about repurposing. This is actually the inside of a McFarlane figure box. Or, you know, you get Amazon. You know, maybe even laying down the underside of one of their envelopes creates a little bit more of a larger area, especially if you want to protect your desk as much as you possibly can. So that's one thing you could do here. Now, with a hot glue gun, it takes a while. It takes a while for one of these to heat up. Now, what's good is a lot of the newer ones have these little pegs right here, so you can kind of stand them up if you really wanted to. But if your cord is kind of coiled, you know, you might want to be a little bit careful. I mean, a lot of times I will turn it to the side, but you don't want it near anything that can actually spark or catch fire. You want to be mindful of that, guys. These can heat up pretty fast. You always want to hold it by its handle. You don't necessarily want to grab it by here or by the nozzle here. They do have a rubber coating here, but a lot of older ones don't, and you can burn yourself pretty good. Glue sticks can heat up pretty damn fast, guys. Okay, so now that you see the light, that means we're heating up. We're just going to break open, well, we got a glue stick right here. And it just slides through the back, just like so. When you feel it, when you push it all the way through, but it stops, you're good to go. You just have to wait for it to heat up now, okay? And yes, full disclosure, I do not have any gloves on me right now. I misplaced my junky work gloves, so I will be doing this bare hands. So there's a good chance I'll probably burn myself. It'll happen. So again, the plan is to try and drop some glue into here and to push these down. Now, if you notice, these are not that deep, so I might just be better off putting a little drop right there and just pushing it through like you're pushing a peg through a hole. But we'll have to hold it in there. Or what I might have to do is I might just have to put a little bit extra glue in through the tube so it fills up. Kind of like putting your hand into a bucket and the bucket overflowing. That might be our best result here. Now, this does not have to look 100% perfect. Not by any shot. Now, what I might do is, because of this part and this part here, I might actually use a little bit of hot glue to tack those parts into place after I apply the epoxy. Again, hot glue is one thing. 2-part epoxy is very strong. Okay? This, again, is stuff that I highly recommend. Do not use this without wearing any kind of gloves, whether it's like painter's gloves, old ratty work gloves, whatever you have, because this is 2-part epoxy. This is JB Weld, it's the ClearWeld, so it's going to give you a clear appearance. And I'll show you guys a few tricks for that after we apply it. But you can use this on tile, most plastics, ceramics, glass, wood, just about any surface, including your skin. You don't want to get this stuck on your skin. You could be in some really bad juju, really bad troubles here. Now, what's good is the little plastic tray that they give you here, there's a little reservoir right here that you can actually use to squeeze the epoxy into. And they give you a little stick. You can see a little popsicle stick right there. That's what they use to, mix around. You have to mix it for about 2 or so minutes. Now we're heating up. Let's see. Let's see if we can Okay, glue is already starting to come out. That's good. We have plenty of glue sticks right here. Now, what I always do is, even if you've never used hot glue before, if you haven't, now you heard me talk about welds. Welds are just doing like a little drop, little drop, little drop, little drop. Now you can practice a little bit depending on how much you want. Now there are different nozzles that you can get for various guns. Okay. Now yes, you do get some of the strings, but just to show you guys, kind of gives like a clear kind of weld look. What I'll use is like a flat black paint. Just brush it over there. It maybe once or twice, let it dry, and it's going to give you like a kind of a cast iron weld kind of a look. That's just something I've done on some proton packs in the past. Now, usually you don't want to touch the hot glue until it's almost like a slightly frosted appearance. Okay. Right now, it just looks like some wet drops. We don't want to touch it because one, it's going to be hot and you can burn yourself, guys. Okay. Okay. So here we go. We got our ammo. You guys like that? We got our ammo, so I'm going to start trying to apply the reservoir right there. Okay. We're going to try 2 here at first. Okay. Well, I'll try and push them in as much as we possibly can. Now, I could top each of these off with a little bit of a hot glue if I wanted. There we go. Right to the brim. So we're going to apply this one in there now. Ow. As you see, we get a little excess because we're holding it down. Gotta hold it down for your homies, right? So we're going to go ahead, repeat that process. Okay, I'm starting to run out of glue. You can see there's a little gap right there, so I'm getting ready with my next one. Set that off to the side. Again. Ow, that is hot. Come on. Okay. As you can see, I'm getting excess because it's drying up. Hot glue you will set pretty quickly, but we want it so that the bulbs are in there. Now, if we're worried about, hey, are they working or not, with the hotness, as you can see, they are working. This one, maybe not so much. The last one's not exactly working, but I'm fine with that. We can still see condensance, and they are meant to flicker like this, by the way, guys. So that's not a problem. Did I switch those around, maybe? No, it's correct. Okay, good. So there we go. We got the bulbs in there. That's the first part. The next part is going to be applying the epoxy. Now that's going to be a little tricky because I have to scrape it onto the back of this, but then scrape it onto the bottom of the board because we have that one bar that's stuck. The little sidebar, the wall, is affixed to the back of the frame right here, but the other one is affixed to the motherboard itself. So that's going to be a little tricky, but we're going to let everything kind of dry for a little bit first. We're going to go ahead, we're going to unplug this and let this cool before we place it around anywhere else. Now, these are pretty inexpensive. I got this for around $7 on Amazon, and the glue sticks, I think, were roughly about the same price as well. And, once it's heated up, it depends on how quickly you're squeezing it out. Now, it's just locked because we ran through the stick. There we go. So, there we are, guys. We will be right back. Give me just a few seconds so I can switch over. We're going to let that dry, and then we're going to go ahead and get ready for the epoxy. If you hear a little bit of a background noise, that is my fan I have running in the room. In this room, not the upper room. So we're going to go ahead and cut, thanks to Bat Knife. Or should I say Bat Blade? Batman doesn't use a knife, he uses a blade. There you go. And like I said, literally, they give you this small little, tiny little popsicle stick, man. It's like, seriously, bro. So I have another. Not quite, but excuse me. That's why I like having these this little bag of popsicle sticks, craft sticks. I got these real cheap. Okay, when the Ziploc bag won't open, we cut it open. Yes, yes. We'll get a couple of those. I mean, yeah, I mean, come on. It's the same width, but it's like double the size. Double the length right there, guys. So, a couple of things here. We have a cap. Now, there's different brands that will have like a little stopper up here. JB Weld, it's just a twist and lift, and you're going to use the plunger to squeeze it out. That's all you're going to do. That's all. That's all. Not anything kind of crazy. It's pretty simple, but again, I highly recommend do not do what I'm doing right now, guys. I just don't happen to have any gloves to use, at least gloves with fingers. So I have nothing to really use for protection, so I'm playing it dangerous. Do not do as I tell you and not as I do. Okay? Okay, we pop this out. And like I said, we're just going to gently squeeze it. Okay, that's going to be enough for right now. So we're going to pull the plunger back. Take the cap. Twist, and now it's locked on. Now, you might be saying, Dave, why does it come out? Why do you have two tubes here? Because it's a two-part epoxy. Those two parts come together, and that's when they start to... That's where all the magic happens. Hey, now. So, that's where the two chemicals come together, and you mix them. You keep mixing them, stir them, stir them, stir them. By the way, you want to make sure that both chemicals, both components come together evenly. If one comes out more than the other, that might have adverse effects with your results as far as the epoxy. But you want to keep mixing it, mixing it, mixing it, mixing it around and around and around. Now, also, do not be alarmed if when you're holding the tray or if you're using a little cup or whatever you're using, if you start to feel it heat up, that's the epoxy working. Okay, this is a 5-minute epoxy. 5 minutes means it is dried and solidified in 5 minutes, guys. There we go. Now we're just going to use a little bit. We don't need a whole lot. We don't need an insane amount here, guys. We just need enough for it to kind of... I'm applying it to both the backing and the little wall that we have. Okay? It's okay if it's a little sloppy. That's perfectly fine, guys. Okay? Now, for this one, we're going to glob it on there pretty good. We want plenty of glob. That's perfectly fine. And now we have to try and... got some on my hand. Now we just kind of need to get it to sit still, basically. You might use a little bit more. It's okay if you get on the wires. It's okay. That's perfectly fine. And if we need to apply second coats, that's perfectly fine as well. We just don't want to get it on the switch because we want to be able to move the switch around. So now it's a matter of holding it. We kind of have to hold it still. Okay, I might need to put a little bit more on there. Okay, there we go. Now, come on. Now we're going to let this sit for a couple minutes, and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, so it's dry for the most part. So now it might still be drying around here. I mean, just make sure the switch is still functioning. There we go. It does still function. Okay. I still function. Sorry. But yeah, it's on there. What I'm probably going to do is, just to be safe, is I'm probably still going to tack some hot glue around here in here. I'll tack on some hot glue just to give a little bit of reinforcement. It doesn't have to be perfect because that's a prop. I mean, look at it. Does it look perfect? Is it screen accurate? No, it's not screen accurate, but it's pretty close, pretty good. And I mean, the prop doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? What do I mean by that? Well, let me tell you. Yes, you see boxes here because I have things I need to ship out from the Stream for the Cure. I still need to ship out some of the prizes for the Stream for the Cure, which was a fundraiser to benefit Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Institute. And if you want to donate to that, the links are in the video description below. A good friend of mine who does props on the regular, he actually does prop making and special effects for movies. He always tells me, listen, it doesn't have to be perfect. Every prop has a story to it, okay? I mean, look at the Ghostbusters mythology. This is a Ghostbusters prop afterwards, okay? After all, I should say. You know, these were 3 guys, well, really 2 guys, because let's face it, can you see Venkman putting together a proton pack? No. I mean, basically, you have Ray and Egon slapping together proton packs, you know, the particle throwers, the ghost traps, the PKEs. They were putting this stuff together in a substandard. I mean, they're putting together in the firehouse. It had substandard power needs. I mean, it wasn't like a lab in at a high quality private lab or a college somewhere. They didn't have the perfect conditions. They were basically slapping the parts together. You can even see in the one scene right before they get their first call, they're eating Chinese food, and Egon is literally working on a particle thrower, one of the wands. So, I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. And proton packs were kind of slapped together stuff, you know? They were unlicensed nuclear accelerators. So, if this is a little crooked, if it's a little off, it's not like somebody's going to be looking at, my waistline and checking to see, hey, is that 100% perfect? No, they're not. And there are many different versions of these that you can 3D print yourself. I've seen people take machine parts. Technically, this is supposed to be the motherboard from a calculator. And that's where you get these little end tubes. The real ones. And all these are just 3D printed parts. Of course, you can get like a little old phone cord. That's what this black cord is. And this just clips on. This goes into like a little holster, and this clips onto your belt, and that's it. There's no practical effects to it. I mean, I shouldn't say practical effects, but there's no actual functions other than the light switch. That's it. That's it, guys. So it's held together. It looks way better. Is it perfect for me? No. But will it do for me? Oh yeah. This is functional now. I mean, I could put it in this holster, and I could put it on my belt, and we're ready for New York City. And we're also ready for Nickel City Comic-Con coming to Buffalo, New York. That is I believe that is the weekend of June 30th through July 1st. Actually, Friday the 20th, 29th, 30th, and July 1st. Nickel City Comic-Con is coming back to Buffalo, New York. It is our big Comic-Con for the Buffalo, New York, Western New York region. We are excited for it. I can't wait. It's been a long time. I mean, the last time I was at a con, well, last August. But the the Nickel City Con, I've actually never, ever been to. So I'm excited for that. And as always, guys, you heard me mention before about the Buffalo Ghostbusters and the amazing fundraising event that they have going to benefit Hook and Ladder number 8. If you want to check out the details, the links are in the video description below. Go on over, check out the Buffalo Ghostbusters on Facebook, and all the links are right there, guys. So, guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, you want to see me doing more, props or doing repairs on stuff, let me know in the comments section below. And as always, guys, if you new to the channel, you just stumbled across us, hit that red button, hit that bell for notifications, and also don't forget to check out the Outer Dimensions podcast. That's a separate channel that features the Outer Dimensions podcast, which is a podcast featuring Dave and Dre Well, we discuss various forms of, action, movies, sci-fi movies, horror. We discuss anything and everything. It's a nice little podcast. It's a great fun time. Check us out live on the Outer Dimensions podcast channel every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and also check us out on iTunes and other formats wherever you get your podcasts from. So, guys, until next time, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension saying keep on busting, and I'm always going to catch you on the flip side. Take care.